Now that you have your buyer persona in mind and you understand the types of keywords you're really aiming to find, in this lecture we are going to cover point 8 on our 26-point checklist, which is to brainstorm for keyword ideas. What we're really going to do, and the outcome for you in this lecture, is to have 30 or 50 keywords that you can really potentially make content about. This is a great process for really understanding what your customers are really searching for online. The very first step is to make a copy of this keyword research template. So just click this open, and what you'll want to do is come up here and click File, Make a Copy. You need to make a copy if you want to edit this document. You do not need to request access to it. Once we've got that open, the next thing we're going to do is come over to wikipedia.com, and we're going to get some topic ideas and synonyms. We really want to fill out this column here. We want to start as broad as possible, and I'm going to run through this whole process with an example for myself as well to really bring it to life. So I encourage you to follow along with me. Then after we've kind of got our topic ideas, what we're going to do is generate the long tail keywords as we talked about earlier here, using 3 automated tools. And this is really going to save you a ton of time and generate hundreds or even thousands of keywords very quickly. And then finally, we'll just come into Quora to really find those specific terms that maybe aren't showing up in these tools here. So let's get started. Coming to our document, we want to fill this topics column out. Start really broad. We can come to Wikipedia. So what I suggest you do is just type in a very broad term for your niche. So for me, it's just going to be marketing. It's extremely high level. There's no way I'm going to rank for this term in Google. That's not what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is really finding out the different topics. And now what you can see here are a list of all of the links to the different topics within this topic. So it's getting down a level, it's split down, but you can see a lot of these keywords here are very different. Customer orientation, marketing research, you mightn't have thought of these as being so connected. And so this is a really great way to think very laterally about how things are connected and refine really what you're going after. So let me come into types of marketing. Maybe I can have a look at digital marketing here. And let's have a look. We can see some of the topics here. So digital marketing activities for search engine optimization, search engine marketing, content marketing, influencer marketing. So I can just essentially take all of these terms and I'm going to paste these straight into my spreadsheet here. Now I'll have to do a bit of work to tidy that all up. But what I'm essentially seeing here straight away is within digital marketing, the area that I'm kind of focusing on, all of the different topics within that subtopic. So this is helping me narrow down really what I'm getting into. And then within each of these topics, again, I can click off and now I can see all of the topics within this topic and really help break it down. So I can see a lot of the stuff here as well. These are all different topics, even within search engine marketing. I can see all of this now. So I'm going to take a minute just to tidy this up and then I'll come right back. So now that I've got some of my big topics within digital marketing broken down here, I can start to go a level deeper and look for different keywords within each of these topics. So for example, let's just stick with SEO being the first example and really what we're working on now. If I come into the search engine optimization page for Wikipedia, now I can see a whole host of keywords that are related to this topic as well. So organic, natural, image search, local search, backlinks, mobile search, indexing activities. These are all of the algorithms, keyword density. You can see anything that has a blue link here is really another page with a whole topic on that. I can even see some of the people who are key to this whole process. And loads and loads of keywords here. You can really spend a lot of time coming in here and finding ideas for topics and also keywords within those topics. So what I'm going to do is just separate this out a little bit. I'm going to just add in some space here. So all of the keywords that I can list down here are relevant to this topic, and you can just really split these out. So what I've done now is started to put some of those keywords for this subtopic here, basically that I've found on the page, and you can really go through and do as much of this as you really wanted. Recapping and returning to our keyword research process, then essentially what we've done already is we've made a copy, we've hacked Wikipedia for topic ideas. To build out our email list even further, what we can do is move on to step 2, which is to really generate a lot of long tail keywords using these 3 automated tools. So we're going to start with Google Autocomplete, and all you need to do is really come into Google, type in one of your keywords here. So let's just type in SEO, and you can see here that Google really gives you suggestions. It gives you autocomplete suggestions that you can put in here. So SEO training, SEO checklist, SEO marketing. These are all different terms that I can now add to my list as well. SEO training, SEO checklist. What else do we have here? Google SEO training. So essentially what Google is showing us here is that common searches related to that search that people often type in. So it's suggesting some of these terms as well. Let me just search for that as well. And if I come down to the bottom of the page, I can also see related searches as well. And what I can do is maybe just take all of these and pop these straight into my keyword list as well. So again, I'll have to do a little bit of tidying up on this, which I'll do now. But it's just another way to get a lot of ideas. Come into Google, put in one of those smaller subtopics. You'll get them in the search bar here, and also you can click just before it as well. Sometimes words come up before or after, and even if you put in, say, SEO training, you can get some ideas. SEO training course, SEO training course free, SEO training course. Okay, that's about it. But you can see that even if you you take something like SEO training, then you put in course, then you put in free, you can see that that is essentially a long tail keyword there as well. It's got more than 2 words, and that's something that you can add to your list as well. So have some fun with that. Check that out, and also don't forget to have a look at the bottom of the page as well, because there's so many great ideas here, and you could spend so much time just going through this. It's really a process to remember to find those keywords your competitors have overlooked. So the more time you spend doing this, the better results you're going to get. Now that we've looked at Wikipedia and Google Autocomplete, the next tool that we can use is called Ubersuggest. So I'm just going to click this open now, and a quick tip is, if you really want to get the best out of this tool, I would install the Keyword Everywhere Chrome extension. It's shown here, and I've also got it listed down here as well. You can use this on Firefox as well, and the great thing about this tool, it'll give you the search volume data and the cost per click figures right in this tool, so you can really get a sense of how valuable these keywords are. So let me give you an example to really bring this to life for you. I'm just going to type in SEO again, and what this tool will really show me is essentially it's the same as Google Autocomplete, like on steroids. It'll just show you a massive amount of 360 keywords, whereas when I type this into Google Autocomplete, you could see that I maybe get 3 or 4 suggestions, and then the bottom, then there might be a few suggestions as well. But this is giving me 360 keywords. So it's just a more focused tool to generate a lot of these. And this is the information that the Keyword Everywhere tool provides to you, the monthly search volume and the CPC. So that will not show up if you do not install the Keyword Everywhere tool. So I really recommend you do that so you can see this information straight away. And what you can use this tool for is, I can see, say, SEO services gets 27,000 searches a month. Now remember, this is global figures, and it has a cost per click of $16.63. We're going to get into this a little bit more in the next lecture, but that's just really an indication of how maybe valuable this keyword is. If within Google AdWords, advertisers are willing to spend $16.63 per click, well then, obviously it's going to be a valuable keyword. So what you can do is maybe tick the relevant keywords. You can see some of these are not relevant at all. SEO meaning. If we come down here, SEO agency, analysis, audit, analyzer, articles, basics. You can see that 4,400, $6.88. So essentially best practices 2016. You can see that these are split up alphabetically. So it goes to A, B, C, D, E. But essentially you can just have a huge amount of keywords generated very, very quickly. Course, checklist, again, I can see the search volume for that now. Copywriting. So you can select those one by one, or if what you want to do is you can really download them all here. And then you can essentially just copy and paste these into your own, the document that I've prepared for you. So that could take a couple of seconds to load up. And essentially you can just take all of those keywords and paste them in, or work through them one by one as I've shown you, and really select the best ones. So once you've got that done, I would add the keywords from that tool into your list again. So you're really building up a list extremely quickly. So I've added a few of those in there, and you can see that I'm building up my list very, very quickly. Now what we can do is move on to the next tool. It's called Keyword Shitter. It's got a pretty unusual name, but it's actually a pretty cool tool. It's very similar to Ubersuggest, but it actually has a longer list of keywords. So for example, if I put in something like SEO checklist, which is quite a specific term, I can see here in Ubersuggest that it's going to give me some suggestions, but maybe not as much as what this other tool can do. So let's see how many it pulls up here. So I can see that I've got 135 keywords, which is fantastic. And I can take maybe the same one, put it into this tool as well. And this is going to build up a huge amount of keywords for me. So I'm going to let that run for a minute and come right back. So what I've got now is 135 here plus 166. It's not finished yet. So actually on this particular example, they're quite close, but essentially this is an alternative to Ubersuggest, and I've used it before for other terms and found a lot of valuable keywords out of this tool. So what I'm going to do is maybe take these terms here. I'm going to add these to my list. So what we've done now is we've got our topic ideas. We've generated thousands of long tail keywords using these three tools. And one final thing that we might want to do before we leave this is really come into Quora. Now I think Quora is a really fantastic place to find keywords because people ask questions in a really very natural way in here. So if I type in something like SEO, I can come down and start to find different keywords. So best piece of advice, best resources for learning about SEO, best SEO companies. So that's maybe an article that you could write, best SEO companies. And I can see using my keyword everywhere tool that actually gets 1,600 searches per month. Moving down. Okay, so best SEO tools. That's probably another keyword that I could put in, best SEO tools or something similar to that. 6,600 a month. So remember, this is the keyword everywhere tool. I'd really recommend you get that installed. We installed it right at the start of the course, but this will show you as here in the search bar, the search volume, as well as in the other tools like Ubersuggest that I showed you as well. So Quora can be fantastic. Best SEO plugins for WordPress. You can see it's very natural language, and these are even blog post titles that you could just take and reuse. So I'd encourage you to come in here as well, and that can really help build up your list even further. To recap then, in this lecture, we have Brainstorm for keyword ideas. And using this worksheet, you can see already that I've got 10 different topic ideas that I got from Wikipedia. And also using those 3 free tools now, I have about 45 keywords just for one topic. And these are kind of in the long tail part of the graph. They are going to be less competitive. And this is really the type of keywords that we're going after. So you can see that that process is very quick. In a very short space of time, generate a lot of keywords. So I would really recommend you go ahead and do that now, because in the next lecture we're going to start to cut down this list, really using that search volume data and also the cost per click data. So I'll see you there.